is Lucifer? How did he become the devil? Is Lucifer really just another name for the devil? Or is the truth much deeper, scarier, and more complicated than we've been told? He was called the lost light of heaven, the bringer of the morning star, and later the prince of darkness. But what really happened? Who betrayed whom? In this video, we delve into ancient texts, hidden fragments of the Bible, apocrypha, and mystical legends that churchmen have tried to hide for centuries. You'll learn why Lucifer was considered the most beautiful angel and how he became humanity's most dangerous enemy. But that's just the beginning. We'll uncover Lucifer's connection to elites, occult orders, and new religions, a story that blurs the line between light and darkness. Don't miss it. The finale will make you take a fresh look at everything you believe in. Subscribe now, because what follows is only deeper, darker, more dangerous. This video will turn your idea of good and evil upside down. He was not created evil. His name meant he who brings light. Lucifer was an archangel close to the Creator himself. His beauty was striking, his music filled the heavens with harmony, and his wisdom seemed boundless. But what happened to the one who stood so close to divine glory? Everything changed when the thought was born in Lucifer's heart. What if I can do more? It seemed unfair to him that people made of dust should receive so much love and attention. His pride became the spark that ignited the flames of rebellion. According to legend, he convinced a third of the heavenly army to side with him. The archangels Michael and Gabriel entered into a battle that tore the very fabric of paradise. The sky trembled, and Lucifer was overthrown. He fell. But he did not disappear. According to the apocrypha, it was in the fall that he gained a power he didn't have before. He became darkness that remembers what light is. He wasn't destroyed, he was just banished, and that's what makes him even more dangerous. Since then, the name Lucifer has no longer been associated with heaven. He became the devil, Satan, the tempter, the lord of illusions. But is that all? Is he really the personification of evil? Or is he perhaps the victim of a great cosmic conflict, the truth about which has been distorted? Next in the video, we will reveal little-known versions of Lucifer's origin, Gnostic, Jewish, early Christian, and even occult. You will learn why his name disappears from many Bible translations, who copied the texts and why, and whether Lucifer may not be who the church paints him to be. Don't stop. The most interesting part follows, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next revelations. Evangelists often portray Lucifer as absolute evil, but was he really the enemy of humanity from the very beginning? Some apocryphal texts claim otherwise. Lucifer did not seek destruction. He sought equality. In his eyes, the order to bow to man was a humiliation of the heavenly race. That is why he refused to bow his knee to Adam, not out of pride, but out of conviction. This version changes everything. In it, Lucifer appears not as a tyrannical demonic ruler, but as a revolutionary, a bearer of knowledge who is punished for disobedience. And here, an interesting parallel arises. In many cultures, the figure of Lucifer is associated with Prometheus, the one who brought fire to people and was punished by the gods. Similarly, Lucifer brought knowledge to man, opened his eyes, pointed out freedom of choice. But this knowledge had a price. In the Gnostic Gospels, Lucifer is described as a light-bearing being who opposed the cruel demiurge, the creator of an imperfect world. In this system of coordinates, he is the liberator, not the enslaver. These views are radically different from the classical Christian vision. But they make you think, what if everything was the other way around? Even in the Bible, the name Lucifer is mentioned only once, in the book of Isaiah, and then in translation. The original refers to Halel ben Shahar, radiance, son of the dawn. And many scholars argue that this could not be about Satan, but about the king of Babylon. But the translation of the Vulgate into Latin transformed radiance into Lucifer, the bearer of light. And from that moment on, a centuries-old confusion of concepts began. Could Lucifer have become a victim of spiritual censorship? Could ancient religions have created an image of an enemy to cement their influence? If he was truly an angel of light, why is his story so dark? In the finale of the video, we look even deeper into modern occult traditions that consider Lucifer not a demon, but a source of true enlightenment. And it is there, in the shadows of forgotten wisdom, that the real reason why his name inspires fear may lie. At the heart of the most ancient mysteries lies another terrifying revelation. Lucifer may not have been an outcast, but a chosen one. Some secret schools believe that he was the one who stood at the source of the first fire of knowledge that changed the original nature of man. After all, after the fall, people began to ask questions, seek truth, create civilizations. This was not a curse. It was an impulse for evolution. Here a key theory arises. If God gave man life, then Lucifer is consciousness. But for this he was overthrown. For nothing scares the system more than a being who questions the rules. In medieval treatises such as Clavicula Salomonis and Liber Officiorum Spirituum, Lucifer is depicted not as a monster with horns, but as a brilliant figure in radiance, coming with wisdom. Sometimes he even says, "I am the one who brings truth, but they fear it." That is why his name became taboo, and that is why churches burned books for centuries, in which Lucifer was presented not as a demon, but as knowledge, as free will, as a power that does not obey. So who was he really? A fallen angel or a light that was tried to be extinguished? This question leaves us with a choice: to believe in the official version or to plunge into the shadows and find our own truth. But remember, the path to true understanding always lies through doubt. But the truth is a labyrinth, and Lucifer may be only the first guide to its dark center. For it is worth looking deeper, and we encounter even stranger coincidences. In Sumerian cuneiform, Enki is mentioned, a deity who gave humanity knowledge, going against the will of the gods Anu. In Gnosticism, Sophia, who created the world in a rush of knowledge and was thrown down from the higher spheres. In Kabbalah, a serpent in Eden who does not tempt but awakens. And everywhere, the motif of the same archetype, the one who challenges the system and gives the fire of reason. So was Lucifer not an enemy, but the archetype of the awakened? And if so, then what does all our fear of him mean? Perhaps we are most afraid of our own power. In the Vatican archives there are texts that have never been put on public display. They speak of a luminous being who once descended from heaven and taught people the art of language, writing, numbers, and architecture. His name is not mentioned there, only a hint. The one who was known before the emergence of all religions. Some researchers suggest that the very image of Lucifer was distorted, deliberately transformed into a terrifying figure in order to make people afraid of knowledge, afraid to ask, doubt, and search. In Masonic rituals of the higher degrees, there are also references to the light that falls to open the way. This light is not evil, but a test, because only the one who will pass through the darkness will see the true light. Perhaps that is why Lucifer is not just a name. It is a symbol of choice. It is a challenge to all dogmas and an invitation to go beyond the obvious. The following truth is even deeper. Legends tell that the name Lucifer was once pronounced with respect, not fear. In the first Christian treatises, he was not always the personification of evil. His figure was much more complex, multidimensional, and only after certain church councils was the image of the light-bearer finally transformed into the devil. But why? Why did the figure symbolizing light become an object of hatred? The answer may lie in the church's fear of free thought. After all, Lucifer in many systems is not a tempter, but a symbol of challenge, expansion of boundaries, willpower and knowledge. And knowledge is always power, power that carries danger for any system of control. In philosophy, Lucifer is someone who chooses his own path, even if it leads into the abyss. And this is the key to the main mystery. Perhaps the story of his fall is not a punishment, but a sacrifice. Perhaps he challenged not for the sake of evil, but for the sake of freedom, like Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods. And here we come to an even bigger question. If Lucifer is a symbol of freedom, then do we really know whose side we are on? In the following parts, we will talk about forbidden texts that were deliberately hidden from people, about esoteric schools that worship the light-bringer not as a devil, but as a guide to true knowledge, and about modern rituals in which the name of Lucifer is whispered not with horror, but with hope. Stay with us, for only he who is not afraid of the darkness will be able to find the true light. The story of Lucifer is not just a religious tale or a biblical metaphor. It is a mirror into which humanity is afraid to look. After all, his figure contains the main question: who has the right to the truth? God, who demands obedience, or an archangel who chooses freedom? In the book of Isaiah, the name Lucifer appears as he who fell from heaven, but in the original it referred to the king of Babylon, and only later did church interpreters associate this image with the devil. This was a turning point. All the ancient meanings, Greek phosphoros, Roman Lucifer, became a symbol of evil, although they literally meant he who brings light. And light itself is the main weapon of this creature. In ancient Gnostic texts, Lucifer is not the enemy of humanity, but the liberator, the one who opened people's eyes, gave them the knowledge of good and evil. This is a shocking interpretation, but it was shared by many ancient mystical schools which believe that the most terrible thing is not sin, but ignorance. Lucifer's real power is not in horns or pitchforks. It is in an idea, in the idea that even an angel can say no, that even in paradise you can ask a question, that even the brightest light can be expelled but not destroyed. Perhaps this is why the legend of Lucifer is so enduring, because deep down each of us has felt this call at least once. Not to obey, not to be silent, not to follow the herd. Perhaps there is no evil in it, but an echo of our deepest desire, to be free. And while religions are arguing about who is right and who is sinful, Lucifer still stands aside, not as a demon, but as a reminder that freedom always has a price, and the choice is always yours. Now, you know more than most. The story of Lucifer is not just a retelling of the biblical fall. It is a profound allegory about the power of choice, the nature of light and darkness, and how sometimes truth is hidden under the mask of prohibition. His name was disgraced, his image was distorted, but his memory, as a symbol of disobedience and the search for truth, lives on for millennia. If this story made you think, it means that it fulfilled its mission. And we have many more such topics. Subscribe to the channel so as not to miss even deeper investigations, ancient knowledge, and secrets that turn the world upside down. Click like if the topic of Lucifer was a new look at the familiar for you. And write in the comments, who is he for you? The Lord of Darkness or the unrecognized hero of light? It will be even louder next.